Hi, this is Yolanda Van Veen, and in this segment we're going to talk about how to harvest a vegetable garden. So an easy rule of thumb when you're harvesting a vegetable garden is when that vegetable looks good enough to eat, that's usually the best time to harvest it. And a lot of times you don't want to cut your tomatoes out when they're bright green, because a lot of times I found they taste much better if you wait till they turn red. But there's easy rules. So when harvesting an artichoke, this one looks like it's probably been in the refrigerator for a little while. I like it to be a little more green, more colored, and make sure it's just ready to eat and really firm and not too green. So peppers actually come in many different colors, and the best ones that have the most vitamins are the reds and the yellows and the oranges, and the green ones are great too, but a lot of times the green ones are not fully ripened and you can't use the seeds for the next year. But they're still a wonderful plant that as soon as they turn that color, they're ready to go. You can just cut them right off. And garlic too, an easy rule of thumb for garlic, whenever the greenery starts turning just a little bit brown, starts turning yellow, then it's time to harvest your garlic. And pretty much that's the same rule with onions and potatoes too. And except you don't want your potatoes to go too far and get too big. So sometimes they get kind of starchy and they're not as nice. But whenever the foliage starts turning a little bit yellow, you know that your onions are ready. And potatoes too. A lot of times you can just dig up one or two and see what size they are and what they look like. Because if you let them go too far too, then a lot of times they get a little bit soggy or a little rubbery. So I just dig up a few and then let them tell you when they're ready. And with cabbage too, you don't want to let them go too far, and you don't want to cut them when they're too green too. Just make sure they're colored real well and they're kind of feel a little hollow. So when they're too hard still, a lot of times they're not ready. I have found with vegetables, they pretty much tell you when they're ready to be harvested. And if they're underground, you can always dig up a couple and keep checking on them and put them back in. And whenever it starts getting cold in the winter time, if you're getting any bit of a frost, make sure and harvest everything because you want to save it for the next year.